Greetings and salutations to you, Nerd Squad. Welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Connor Monroe, and I like peanut butter. If you're new or just haven't yet, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily nerdy content. We have a great team who put a lot of effort into our videos. Make sure you ring that bell as well to get notified about our future uploads, and stick around until the end of the video because our top 10 are crazy. While all of that is happening, and it better be happening, I'll start with this list of the top 10 supervillains no one respects. Number 10, Flag Smasher. Carl Morgenthau first appeared in Captain America number 312 in 1985 and is as passionate about politics as Cap himself. Hating all nationalities and desiring world peace, Mr. Smasher goes about achieving world peace by using violence and being a terrorist. Logic. He desires the world to be at peace and all borders to be dissolved. However noble his intentions are, he goes about it in the wrong way. Additionally, Flag Smasher actually decides not to fight Mr. Poole, but one of his subordinates hates his cowardice and shoots him in the back. Not fighting takes honestly a lot more confidence than fighting, especially when you're a villain. So his henchman is just dumb. Despite hating all nationalities, Flag Smasher is fluent in English, French, German, Russian, Italian, Japanese, and Esperanto. And not to mention, a version of Flag Smasher appears as a boss in Marvel Avengers Alliance. That must be a very lame boss. Number 9, Condiment King. You guys knew this had to be on the list. The Condiment King started out in the Batman animated series, but also appeared in the comics, mainly battling Batgirl and Robin. It was revealed in the animated series that the Condiment King was actually a stand-up comedian who was brainwashed by the Joker using the Mad Hatter's devices. As Robin points out in the comic, he can be dangerous if someone has an allergy, but that's the only time he'd be scary. In all honesty, if this guy showed up, I'd be grateful. Like, finally, something to dip my fries in. But the fact that this villain likes to make condiment-based puns just sets him up to be a laughingstock. Saying things like, "I knew you'd catch up to me," and "how I relished this meeting" is just sad. It's kind of funny though, in like a dad joke kind of way. Or a my joke kind of way. Next up, number 8, Hypno Hustler. Antoine Denoy is the lead singer of the Mercy Killers, going by the name Hypno Hustler. There we go, I did it. When he gets caught robbing a safe, he uses his hypnotic equipment on the manager of the nightclub they were performing in. In addition to this, he and his band also use their equipment on the whole audience in a plan to rob them blind. First appearing in Spectacular Spider-Man number 24, Spider-Man was of course in the audience they tried to hypnotize, so he got his costume on. Spider-Man discovers that Hypno Hustler's headphones protected him from his own music, so after getting those off, Hypno Hustler fell into his own trance. After that, Spidey webbed up the band and saved the audience. Hypno Hustler's powers include using his guitar for hypnosis, and when he's with his band, performing, no pun intended, mass hypnosis. He also has knockout gas that can emit from his boot, and those boots have retractable knives in the soles as well. That's some Kingsman gear right there. Number 7, Earth 2 Crazy Quilt. Earth 2 Crazy Quilt is an unnamed noted painter who leads a double life as a master criminal. He gives the plans for his crimes to his henchmen through, wait for it, paintings, not quilts. However, his empire collapses when a henchman double crosses him and blinds him with a gunshot wound. Since he's blind, he volunteers for an experimental procedure that will restore his vision, but it only allows him to see bright colors. He first appeared in Boy Commandos number 15 in May of 1946, but in his second published appearance, he acquired a special helmet that emits bright colored lights, allowing him to see in most circumstances. The abilities of this helmet also include mind control, projecting lethal laser beams, and blinding lights. What the actual hell is going on with this character? He can only see bright color unless he's wearing a special mind-controlling, deadly laser beam shooting helmet that can also temporarily blind people? I don't understand. Who greenlit this? I want to be at that meeting. Number 6, Stilt-man. Scientist Wilbur Day was working on a special kind of hydraulic device, stealing designs from their inventor. Day decides the best use for these beautiful pieces of machinery is a giant pair of mechanical stilts, which he uses to commit crime. Not a very well thought out plan, especially when he hires Matt Murdock as his lawyer when suing his former boss, where, in order to build a case against his employer, he must admit that he is Stilt-man, and then proceeds to get a beating from Matt Murdock, who Stilt-man clearly didn't know was Daredevil. In an attempt to steal a shrinking device to make his power set maybe a little bit more useful, Stilt-man accidentally turns it on and shrinks himself to microscopic size. I wonder how that device would even make your powers useful. If you know, tell me in the comments, I'm curious. Like, would he have the same mass like Ant-Man or the Atom, or would he literally just shrink? Halfway through at number 5, Kite Man. Charles Chuck Brown is a man who armed himself with kite-based weapons to commit crimes. Yeah, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. He also tends to use a barrage of kites to overwhelm his enemies, until they lose all momentum and fall to the floor. But no need to worry, he has a mammoth kite which he used in the past to shuttle criminals out of Gotham's prison, a flashbulb kite, whatever that means, and a trap net kite. Basically Batman with kites. He first appeared in Batman number 133 in August of 1960. He's also fought Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and Zatanna in Hawkman 2nd Series number 4 in 1986, and his origin story was revealed to be that as a kid, he really liked kites. Wow, he has the same amount of personality as me, according to specific comments. In Infinite Crisis, the Joker reported that Kite Man was thrown off of Wayne Tower without his kite by Deathstroke after he refused to join the secret society of supervillains. Even Deathstroke was trying to save us from him. He did end up surviving the fall though. Somehow. Number 4, Ten-Eyed Man. Philip Reardon was a soldier in the US Special Forces during the Vietnam War. He was honorably discharged after a grenade fragment hit him between the eyes. After being treated by a doctor using an experimental treatment with the purposes of creating a villain, Phillips gets eyes grafted to each finger. This enables him to see really well, I guess? Eventually killed off, he was followed by the Nine-Eyed Man, but like, 10 eyes is your power? You need to close your hand to make a fist to punch stuff. So do you just go blind? Do you need to have one hand open at all times? If so, that's just restricting as hell. Can't you just put eyes on his forehead or something? Did it really need to be his fingertips? What kind of superpower is that anyway? Make sure you're sleeping with one hand open. Number 3, Paste Pot Pete. Peter Petruski was once an award-winning chemist, but when he invents a super strong glue, yeah, he decides to turn to a life of crime and chooses a terrible name. Paste Pot Pete used his glue gun to rob banks, not really sure how that would work, but okay, and even battled the Fantastic Four. He wasn't a complete waste of time and ended up in a few superhero groups, but when he encountered Spider-Man, the ridicule that all us readers had felt was channeled through Spider-Man because when Spidey found out his name, he just burst out laughing. This actually caused Paste Pot Pete to change his name to the Trapster, which, while not great, is a significant improvement. After successfully robbing a bank, this guy thinks it's a good idea to steal a Delta cosmic missile from the military, but thankfully, Johnny Storm recovers the missile. Going from a bank to a missile requires some big balls though, goddamn. Number 2, Turner D. Century. Clifford F. Michaels first appeared in Spider-Woman number 33 in 1980 and was the son of a millionaire's chauffeur. Turner D. Century was a young man with dark hair worn in a 1900s style with a handlebar mustache to boot. His motivation was the hatred of all social changes that came about after World War I, and his crime revolves around striking out at things or people that represented these changes in his eyes. He hated the turn of the century, hence his name, Turner D. Century, since he wanted to bring back the past. He even tried to do so by wiping out everyone under 65 in San Francisco with a hypersonic weapon he designed. Luckily it didn't work, and the fact that it didn't made him a laughingstock amongst heroes. He was killed when he got assassinated in Scourge of the Underworld along with several other villains in the bar with no name. He was later cloned, and then that clone was killed by Deadpool. This guy can't catch a break. Turner D. Century, my god. Number 1, Lady Stilt-Man. While Lady Stilt-Man's identity and origin remain a mystery, she uses a version of Stilt-Man's suit and calls herself Lady Stilt-Man. Not Stilt-Woman, not Lady Stilt, not even Stilts. Lady Stilt-Man. Deadpool defeated her by removing a manhole cover, causing one leg to fall in the sewer. She herself is clumsy and uncoordinated since her other foot ended up on top of a truck. Spider-Man himself even said that she wasn't trying too hard since he was easily able to web her to a wall after her second heist. There isn't really a way for you to gain any respect back. So yeah, that happened. That's been our list of the top 10 supervillains no one respects. Are there any villains you thought I left out, or are there any other tidbits that help prove any of these points? Let me know in the comments, and while you do that, I'm going to risk my dignity and delve into the comments of my last video to respond to some comments I found to stand out. These comments are from the top 10 superheroes useless out of costume video. Oh boy. Anonymo said, who else doesn't like this guy? Everyone from my high school actually. Chemic Comics says, and no, I'm not 13. Thanks for the clarification. You're welcome. I've seen comments where I actually needed to say this, but oh well. Zachary Cantrell said, I think I know his favorite word. I bet it is Jesus Christ. Actually no, my favorite word is palmetto, but Jesus Christ is something I can say that isn't censored. Unlike, no, I'm not gonna say it. Amer Peoples said, you have so much hate, my boy. Oh, don't I know it. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't hate me, say hi in the comments and I'll do my best to respond to all the nice people. Until next time, I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.